guys, it's Jess and welcome to my channel. This video is gonna be how I made $500 in 1 month on free items. So first I want to tell you about how I obtained these items, and then I'm going to show you the items that I sold real quick on both eBay and Poshmark. And then we're gonna go through some analytics and take you through categories and brands that ended up selling super quick and within the 1 month time. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So I was able to get these items for free by using 2 different methods. One method was totally by accident, but the first method was through the Nextdoor app. If you guys aren't familiar with the Nextdoor app, I'm sure you probably have one unless you live in a really rural or small town. So real quick, I tried posting in the general section of the Nextdoor app, and immediately my post was deleted because it said I had a business and this was not the place. I know a lot of people were able to post in the general section in their Nextdoor app, so I'm not really sure why it didn't work for me. But I did happen to find a lady who posted in the for sale section, and she was giving away some clothes for free. So I reached out to her and told her I was interested. I was upfront with what I do and told her that I was a reseller, and she was perfectly fine with that and left everything out on the porch for me. So I thought to myself, this is a good idea. So I went in the for sale section of the Nextdoor app and I typed out just a quick little ad in search of, and I used this photo to help me explain I was a reseller and I didn't want items to be just thrown in the trash because maybe they wouldn't make it to the donation center. And I was super overwhelmed with all of the responses. So for those people that responded, I ended up going to their house, and one person actually dropped off bags at my house. The second way I was able to get free items is I actually went to the donation sheds and I was gonna call the place who was taking the donations. So I just dialed up the place and was going to explain to them that they had stuff outside of the shed that needed to be picked up because it was gonna rain tonight. But obviously there was no answer because nobody was working because we are all in quarantine. And at the time I was making the call, another car pulled up and then she asked me if it was okay to drop off her stuff. I don't know, lady, I don't work here. And then I thought to myself, this might be a good opportunity. And the extrovert Jess came out, and she doesn't come out too often. So I simply stated I was an online reseller and I would be happy to take anything that she had so she wouldn't be considered dumping her items. So she started loading bags up into my car, which was super exciting. And then she loaded up a flat, huge screen TV, which was awesome. So that was another way I got free items, and it actually happened to me twice. So I was at the donation shed. I was actually putting donations in the shed, but it was getting kind of full. And a guy drives up and is like, oh, I'm speaking exactly how he was speaking. And I said, hey, I'm a reseller. I'd be happy to take these items off of your hands. He was like, yeah. So he started dumping all of his stuff in my car. And then he thanked me. Girl, my wife would have been so mad at me if I would have come back with all this stuff. So I was happy to oblige. So that is how I got all of my free stuff throughout the month. So let's get into the sales. And we're gonna run by these real quick and then I'll give you the numbers at the end. So I'm gonna start with eBay, and the first eBay item that sold was a Nike Dry Fit Polo, and it sold for $19.99. The next thing that sold was a Nike Dry Fit Polo. This was for the LA Rams. I think it was actually the St. Louis Rams because of the colors, but either way, it sold for $12. Next up was this awesome Columbia fleece full zip sweater. It was white with a little bit of orange, and it sold overnight for $17.99. The next thing that sold was a New York & Company button-down shirt, and this sold for $7.77, but it did have some flaws. Next up is a Comfort Plus by Prediction, and this was a pair of 3-inch heels, and they sold for $9.99, and the buyer did leave me feedback saying she was going to use these in a cosplay. Next up are 2 pairs of Under Armour shorts, and these were golf. They were for men, and they sold for $24.99. Next up was just 1 pair of Under Armour shorts for men. These were slightly different size, that's why I listed them separately, and they sold for $15.99. And the next thing is an ultra pink, which I've never heard of, but they sell it at TJ Maxx. This was a lace crochet top, and it sold for $14.99. And then we sold a pair of Nike men's initiator shoes, and they sold for $14.99. Next were these really bad shape kids Nike Air Max shoes, and I just listed them for $9.99 because I just wanted them to sell, and they did. They sold right away. And then we sold some athletic beachwear shoes. They had like the holes in it. I know you guys have probably seen these before. They sell them at Walmart for like $7. This had a tag still on it, and the clearance tag said $1, but I ended up selling them for $9.99. And then I sold a pair of denim pants, and these were from the brand Wild Fable, and they were like a pair of mom jeans. They're very retro. They were made to look vintage, I think, and they ended up selling for $22.49. And last up for eBay is another pair of denim pants. These are JLo brand, and they sold overnight. They were the skinny jeans, so they sold for $19.99. So my total sales price for eBay was $201.16. If you take out the 13% fee, and the cost of goods is $0, so we don't have to worry about that, we come up with $175.01 profit. All right, let's move on to Poshmark, and the first thing that sold on Poshmark were just 3 Lucky Brand shirts. I picked them out and just shoved them all together, and they sold for $19. Next up is just a Nike men's LA Rams shirt, and it sold for $20. Next up we have a Tommy Hilfiger golf shorts, and these sold for $17. And then we have this beautiful Angie boho dress. It was new with tags, but I ended up selling it for $15. And then we have a Ralph Lauren hoodie, and this was a bigger size. I actually washed this because it did have kind of a strange smell to it, but I'm glad I did. It sold overnight for $25. Next up, I had a whole bunch of pink shirts, so I put 2 lots together. I had a lot of 4 and a lot of 3. So the lot of 4 sold first for $20. And next, after the guy received his lot of 4, he decided he wanted the lot of 3, and he offered me $13, and I took it. Next up was an Old Navy denim jacket, and this actually had stains in a couple of places on it. I actually sold it on eBay first, and it sold for $10, and then I ended up having to pay $13 in shipping, and I was like, I'm not in this to give stuff away, so I canceled the order. It's fine, guys. You can cancel orders, and I just explained that I would be paying more in shipping than I've actually received, and I guess the person was fine with it. I didn't receive negative feedback. I'm sure he knows everybody makes mistakes. So I sold the denim jacket on Poshmark for $10. Next up was a Chanel sunglasses case, and it actually only sold for $20, but it sold in maybe 2 hours. Don't worry, guys, this case comps at about $20 to $25, so I was fine with that. That was a fair price to me. Next up was a pair of Nike Force shoes, and these sold for $18. And then right after that, a pair of Nike boys shoes that ended up selling for $17. And then I sold a pair of American Eagle jeans for $15. And believe it or not, I sold a pair of Nike shorts that were used for $10. And I still don't know how to say this brand, either Bebe or BB, but it was kind of a black and white, kind of like a jail cell. Anyways, this was a cute little blazer and I ended up selling it for $17. And then I just had a mix of maxi dresses. There were not really name brand. I think one was like Derek Hart and just brands that aren't selling for much at all. So I lotted these all up because they were the same size. They were junior sizes, so I knew it would be a hard sale. So I ended up selling them for $17. And then I sold a pair of Lucky brand shorts and they sold for $15. And last but not least was one of my favorites. It was a baby fat hoodie and pants set, and it had the big cat on the shoulder and on the hip slash thigh area. It was super cute. I love cats, so... But this ended up selling for $30. So my total sales for Poshmark was $298. I did offer a shipping discount on about half of the items, so after you take out that shipping cost and the cost of goods, which is $0, plus that 20% fee, I come up with a total profit for Poshmark of $225.07. So my total sales was just under $500. It was $499.16, leaving me with a profit of $400.08. So I'm a very analytical person, so I do love to break it down a little bit. So we're gonna break it down by women's, men's, and kids. So out of all of these items I ended up selling in a month that I got for free, I sold 3 kids items, I sold 10 men's items, and I sold a whopping 16 women's items. Now let's break it down by category. I had 1 miscellaneous item, and I had 2 dresses, and I'm really just counting the listings and not like how many dresses I had. I had 6 pairs of shoes that sold in the month, 8 bottoms, pants slash denim slash shorts, and the tops slash shirts was a whopping 13. Now I did break it down by brands as well, and these are just brands that had more than 1 listing that ended up selling. So if I don't name a brand, it just means that there was only 1 listing that sold for that brand. So I ended up selling 2 listings that had Under Armour, 2 listings that had Ping, 3 listings that were Lucky brand, and then I'm sure you all guessed it, 8 listings for Nike. So I hope this helped you out in seeing what brands are selling super quick and what brands might be awesome to pick up if you find them at the thrift stores for super cheap or if you get them for free. So I'm asking you guys, have your thrift stores open? Have you been sourcing for free stuff on the Nextdoor app? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed to my channel. Thanks and have a great day. Bye.